On the 8th day postpartum, my husband Chinwei happily received 15 days of paternity leave. I cheerfully whispered to my daughter in my arms that Dad could stay home with us, but unexpectedly, within just 2 days, the baby's crying made Chinwei feel extremely annoyed. He told my mother-in-law that he doesn't usually get such a long break, so it would be a good opportunity for off-peak travel. And he wanted to go out for a few days. I thought I had misheard. But my mother-in-law's response completely shattered my perception. Xiaowei, it's not safe for you to go out alone. Dad and I will go with you. Chinwei happily went to book the high-speed train tickets. The three of them quickly packed their luggage, each one beaming with joy. No one remembered that I had just been discharged from the hospital after giving birth and was still in confinement. Before going out, Chinwei put on the appearance of a good husband. Honey, while we're away, you must take good care of yourself. Don't stay up late, eat whatever you want. We have everything at home. I also transferred 300 yuan to you. Buy whatever you like. With that, the whole family went out together. He didn't even glance at the child the entire time. At that moment, I could no longer hold back my sorrow and burst into loud sobs, looking at the money transfer on my phone. I gradually calmed down and made a major decision. 1. I dialed the number for IGA Real Estate Agency. Hello. Is this Xiao Zhao? I have an apartment here that I need to sell urgently. Xiao Zhao is a young man I met while accompanying a colleague to buy a house. He's very reliable and efficient at his work. Upon hearing that I had a property available, Xiao Zhao quickly came over to register the housing information and take photos. Looking at the well-ventilated layout with windows facing north and south, sunlight filled the entire room. Xiao Zhao couldn't help but exclaim, "Sis, your house is really nice. If you wait patiently, you'll definitely get a good price for it." I simply smiled faintly. "Xiao Zhao, I want to sell it as soon as possible. I don't mind if the price is a bit lower." Although Xiao Zhao was a bit puzzled, seeing my serious expression, he still nodded heavily. "Sis, don't worry. I'll go back right away and contact the clients I have." After seeing Xiao Zhao off, looking at the spacious and bright 3-bedroom apartment, I couldn't help but recall the scene when I first bought the house. I studied in Suzhou and stayed here after graduation. My parents were worried that I would have trouble renting, so they directly bought a 3-bedroom apartment for me to live in, saying it would also serve as a dowry for when I get married in the future. Chinwei's hometown is in the suburbs of Suzhou, and he has a younger brother who is still in college. When they got married, Chinwei said with difficulty that his parents had worked hard for half their lives and spent a lot of money on his education, so they couldn't afford to buy a house for the time being. "Xiaoxia, don't worry. I will work hard in the future, get promoted and a raise, and then buy you a big house. Now I can only rely on my wealthy girlfriend and move into my wife's love nest." Looking at his sincere yet playful expression, I couldn't help but laugh. I didn't take it to heart. I figured houses are meant to be lived in anyway. Since I have one, I might as well stay there for now. "No problem, I'll take good care of the lady of the house." Chinwei's face was full of adoration. "Absolutely. I'll follow whatever my wife arranges." The sound of wah 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 crying interrupted my memories. My daughter Sui Sui is hungry. I quickly picked her up to breastfeed. While nursing, my daughter fell asleep. Looking at my daughter's sleeping face, my heart warmed. She is so small, so soft. And on her 8th day in this world, she has to endure such hardship with me. Her nails dug deep into her palms, the pain momentarily dispelling the day's mental fog. Suddenly, a message from Chinwei came through on her phone. "Honey, send me a photo of our daughter. The relatives in the family group want to see her." I turned off my phone and ignored it. "Now you remember to check on your daughter. You don't deserve to. After putting my daughter to bed, I started to pack my things. My phone buzzed a few times. I opened it and looked. In the loving family group chat, Chinwei was posting travel photos of having a big meal with his in-laws and taking a cruise. The sun was shining brightly, and the smiles on their faces were even more radiant. The group instantly became lively. Aunts and uncles were all chattering away, each adding their own comments. "Xiaowei is such a filial child. taking his parents out to travel whenever he has time off. Fenglian is truly blessed. Even as a mother-in-law now, she still gets to travel in style and looks younger and younger. My second aunt's cousin snorted coldly. I heard my cousin's wife is still in confinement, yet you still have the mood to post photos. The group chat fell silent for a few seconds. In an instant, Uncle scolded. What do you, a little girl? No, this shows your cousin is capable. Who are you to speak? Exactly. Fenglian and her husband have a good son, perhaps due to some concerns. Chinwei did not continue sending photos. I can't be bothered with the commotion in the group chat, so I pressed the back button but accidentally opened the photo Chinwei sent. Immediately after, I received a video call from Chinwei. Xiaoxia, I asked you to send me a photo of our daughter. Why haven't you sent it yet? You're just sitting at home with nothing to do. Is it really that hard to send a photo? Saying that, you really have the nerve. I was already angry when I saw my mother-in-law's photo. Chinwei, is the necklace your mom is wearing the one I left in the dresser drawer, and the bag she's carrying is the gift my mom had someone bring back from Hong Kong for me? Your mom's sneaky skills are really something. Chinwei was immediately left speechless. Xiaoxia, we're all family. How can you call it stealing? My mom loves to dress up. She rarely goes on trips. So she wanted to look her best. She probably just forgot to tell you, I sneered. Forgot to tell me. How come she never forgets to eat? How come she never forgets to travel with her son? I shouted loudly, the wounds on my body still aching faintly. I was in the delivery room having surgery, and you said you had to work overtime and would come later. When the child was born, your mother just showed her face and then went home. During the days I was in the hospital, you kept saying you were busy. Turns out you were busy at home going through my things. Is your face as thick as a city wall? Just as she was speaking, her mother-in-law, Sun Fenglian, appeared in the video. Gu Xiaoxia, why do you have to speak so harshly? I've worked hard for half my life and have had it tough enough. Why are you making such a distinction between what's yours and mine in the family? Are you only concerned with your own comfort? Have I ever enjoyed a single day of comfort in your family? You think you're pitiful? I'm being bullied by you all like this. Am I not pitiful? My daughter was just born and is already being bullied by you. Isn't she pitiful? Sun Fenglian probably didn't expect me to be so direct. She shoved the bag into Chinwei's arms. Who wants your stupid bag? Even if you give it to me when we get back, I won't want it. Chinwei also looked angry. Xiaoxia, you've gone too far. Look how angry you've made Mom. I'll go comfort her. With that, he hung up the video call. After scolding me, he suddenly calmed down. Not worth getting angry over. Just a bunch of rotten people. 3. I opened the food delivery app and ordered a deluxe postpartum meal set. My body is my own. Only when I eat and drink my fill will my daughter have milk to drink. After finishing the meal, I started packing the luggage for my daughter and me. Sui Sui is very sensible. She sleeps after eating and doesn't fuss much when she's awake. Every time I see my soft, little daughter, I can't help but feel a pang of sadness, but it's precisely for my daughter that I must be strong and bravely carry out my decision to the end. At night, lying in bed and staring at the ceiling, the 3 years of married life flashed through my mind like scenes from a movie. When we got engaged, Sun Fenglian held my hand and said, Xiaoxia, since we just paid the second child's tuition, we can only manage 10,000 as a token for the betrothal gift. I'll treat you like my own daughter from now on, and we'll make it up to you when we have more money. Chinwei held me and said dotingly, you're the best, baby. Our ancestors must have blessed me to let me meet such a wonderful girl. I will always treat you well. At the time, I thought I had found a good husband and a good family. When we got married, Chinwei paid for the banquet. But my mother-in-law complained behind my back to the Chin family relatives. The richer they are, the stingier they get. They have so much money, yet they still made us pay for their own banquet. But I had stayed in Suzhou after graduating from university and had no relatives here. My family's wedding guests and classmates only filled 2 tables at most. Not long after we got married, She asked me to hand over my salary card again, claiming it was to help us manage our finances, of course. I disagreed. It was because of this that we had a fierce conflict, and from then on, our relationship turned sour. At that time, she made a harsh threat, saying she would make her son divorce me, but Chinwei and I had just gotten married, and we were still in the honeymoon phase, deeply in love. How could Chinwei possibly agree? He played the nice guy, placating both sides, and managed to extinguish the mother-in-law and daughter-in-law conflict the year after we got married. Sun Fenlian bought 50,000 yuan worth of gold jewelry from an acquaintance introduced by her uncle. She came back ecstatic, saying it was a good thing her uncle knew the seller, as the discount saved her several thousand yuan. She also said the seller told her that in a couple of years, once the gold price rose, she would make a fortune, although she cried poor at the wedding and didn't buy me the 3 gold pieces. I don't hold any of that against her. Sun Fenlian's money is hers to spend as she pleases. It's none of my business, but she should never have coveted my family's property. From the moment after marriage when she openly and covertly inquired about my family's business income and mentioned to Chinwei that my family only has a daughter and no son, my disgust for her had already reached its peak, and every time Chinwei talks to his mother about my family's assets, his eyes light up. And the greedy expression he occasionally reveals makes me feel very uncomfortable, for my parents are in the home textile business and are extremely busy every day. 1 month before the production, one of our export orders suddenly received a large additional request, so my parents were very busy. My mother called me and said she would come to accompany me during childbirth. As a result, Chinwei confidently assured that there would be no problem at all, suggesting that his parents come after the baby was born, just in time to help after he finished handling the company's big order. At the time, seeing Chinwei's filial and considerate demeanor, I thought I had been overthinking things before. Now it seems that he truly doesn't consider postpartum confinement important. Everything was carefully calculated. My family isn't in Suzhou, so they can push me around however they want, forcing me to give in their eyes. I've already had a child. What kind of fuss could I possibly make now? If I had known it would come to this, I never should have given him that chance back then. During my first trimester, my morning sickness was severe. I'd throw up whatever I ate. My mother-in-law volunteered to come take care of me. Been here for 3 days, and I've been eating stir-fried Shanghai bok choy for 3 days. She calls it clearing heat and removing fetal toxins. Chinwei kept saying he couldn't take it anymore. So while I wasn't paying attention, she quietly brought out the braised spare ribs and red braised pork she had saved for her son, saying he works hard and needs to eat something nutritious. If you didn't know better, you'd think her son was the one who was pregnant. Chinwei told his mother that I liked to drink soup, so she could make more soup for me in the future. My mother-in-law listened and followed through. The next day, a bowl of light, savory soup with a few chopped scallions floating on top appeared on the dining table. I happened to have an appetite that day, so I decided to have a bowl of rice with the soup. She came out of the kitchen and, after seeing me take a couple of bites of rice, asked, "Xiaoxia, this soup is delicious, isn't it?" I hadn't tried it yet, but I still nodded politely. She continued to show off with a smug look on her face. "Do you know how this soup is made?" I shook my head. She suddenly burst into laughter. "It's so simple. After I finished stir-frying, I just added a bowl of water, brought it to a boil, and it was done. See, all the seasonings from the bottom of the pan are still there, and even the scallions stuck to the pan can be used as a side dish. I really know how to live frugally. Wow, isn't this just pot-scraping water?" After she said that, I completely lost my appetite, put down my bowl, and went out to eat at a restaurant. I told Chinwei about it, and he explained that his mother had been frugal for so long due to her hard life, and she definitely didn't do it on purpose. He said he would ask his mother to cook more dishes next time, and then there was no then after that. Absolutely speechless. I really couldn't bear to let her go back, but as soon as she turned around, she went crying to the relatives. My daughter-in-law looks down on me and kicked me out. The daughter from a wealthy family is just too hard to please. Even with soup and dishes for every meal, she still won't eat. Let her say whatever she wants. I never had her come over to cook again. During the Chinese New Year, my mom transferred me 20,000 yuan to buy nutritional supplements and take better care of myself. When my mother-in-law found out, she kept urging Chinwei every day, "Both of you have salaries, so you don't really need this money. Give me 8,000 to buy gold." Of course, I was unwilling to give it to her. Normally, Chinwei gives half of his monthly salary to his parents, claiming it's to help with household expenses. Then he gave an extra amount for the New Year's shopping, and now he's asking for more money to buy gold. Does he think I'm a fool? But Chinwei has always listened to his mother, and in the end, he couldn't refuse. He had to withdraw 8,000 yuan from his credit card to give to her. Over this 8,000 yuan, I had a huge argument with Chinwei. At that time, I brought up the idea of divorce, but later, when I went to the hospital for the abortion, I regretted it again. After all, it was my own flesh and blood. Looking at the ultrasound photos, I couldn't bear to go through with it. Chinwei knelt on the ground begging me, repeatedly promising that from then on he would discuss everything with me and would no longer endlessly indulge his mother's unreasonable behavior. But now it seems I was too naive. Not only is the mother-in-law being unreasonable, but Chinwei himself is also acting out of line. When he heard the news of the pregnancy, he was so excited that I thought he loved both me and the baby, but after accompanying me to 2 prenatal checkups, he started making excuses, either saying he was in a meeting or had to work overtime, claiming it was all for the family. Looking back now, I realize he was just avoiding the hassle and being calculating. He thought he had me under control and no longer needed to worry about me. With a child already, where else could I possibly run to? I laughed through my tears. "Then you've underestimated me." I want to grit my teeth and swallow the pain. Impossible. Tears cannot awaken their conscience. They only leave me wounded. I know what I must do. 5. Early the next morning, Xiaojia from Jia Real Estate called me. "Hey, what a coincidence. There are 2 people interested in this exact layout. Would it be convenient for you to show the apartment today?" I readily agreed. "Got it." After feeding my daughter and putting her to bed, I tidied up briefly, and then the doorbell rang. Xiaojia brought a friendly-looking middle-aged couple to view the apartment. I simply greeted them and let them look around. I usually maintain the house very well, since I've studied design and enjoy watching home renovation videos. Everything from space utilization to furniture and appliances has been carefully planned and selected by me. If it weren't for this situation, I wouldn't be willing to sell it at a low price. The middle-aged couple was very satisfied with the house, especially the woman who couldn't wait to get it immediately. She said to me gently, "Little girl, I'm a straightforward person, and I genuinely like this house. I also know your price is already quite a bit lower than the market rate. But I wonder if there's still room for negotiation." Seeing that the couple seemed reliable, I made my position clear. "If you're sincerely interested in buying, all the furniture and appliances in the house will be included, so you can move in with just your luggage." The eldest sister's eyes lit up, and she nodded repeatedly. "I only bought big brands back then, and it's only been 3 years since I started using them." They immediately finalized their intentions with Xiaozhao and started the process. Xiaozhao is indeed efficient and got it done quickly. When the 2 million arrived, I felt a wave of relief. This home, if I say I don't want it, none of you can have it either. I silently vowed, "My daughter, from now on, Mom will take care of you. We will never be bullied again." 6. I found the best postpartum care center in the city. They sent a nanny van directly to pick up my daughter and me. I booked a luxury suite, women should always give themselves the best within their means. Here, there are dedicated nutritionists preparing postpartum meals every day, professional nannies taking care of the baby, and lactation consultants checking on breast milk conditions. I don't have to worry about anything. Sunlight streamed into the room, falling on my daughter's soft, milky face, and only then did I feel a sense of peace. I called my mom. I calmly recounted the whole story. My parents live in the southern city, which is a 3-hour high-speed train ride away from me. In the afternoon, my parents rushed over. My mother hugged me tightly and cried, "Silly child, why didn't you tell me earlier? How much hardship have you endured all by yourself?" My nose tingled with emotion. "Mom, I'm a mother myself now, and I also want to know if I can do it. Consider it a chance for me to challenge myself." Mom picked up Sway Sway, who was beside her. "Good child. Both you and your mom are grandma's good children." As she spoke, she slipped 2 big red envelopes into Sway Sway's pocket, saying it was a meeting gift from Grandma and Grandpa. I can't help but recall that since Sway Sway was born, the Chin family hasn't even bought her a pair of socks. It's truly disheartening, but compared to their going on trips, this is nothing. It's like comparing a minor issue to a major one. Even my usually good-tempered father was filled with anger, suppressing his rage. He said to me with heartache, "Daughter, you did the right thing. A rotten family like that should be thrown away when it's time. How dare they abandon you to go on a trip while you're in confinement? They're not afraid of being laughed at. Utterly ridiculous." Mom was also filled with righteous indignation. "Exactly. No one gets to bully my daughter. From now on, Sway Sway will take our family name." My heart ached, and tears began to flow uncontrollably. "Dad, Mom, I'm sorry. You never approved of their family from the start, and I was just too stubborn." Dad quickly patted my shoulder. "Silly child, there's no need for apologies among family. We were just worried you'd end up getting hurt. You don't need to blame yourself either. Life has a high tolerance for mistakes. When you look back later, this will just be a small episode." Mom put it more bluntly. "Silly girl, why blame yourself for someone else's mistake? Just treat it like stepping in dog poop. Throw away the shoes and be done with it. The road of life is so long. Who can guarantee that every step is taken correctly?" After listening to my parents' comforting words, I felt much better. My parents' love is my greatest source of confidence. My parents stayed at a nearby hotel and came to accompany me whenever they had free time. The days finally settled into peace. Sway Sway was growing and changing every day, and my heart was filled with an indescribable joy. But what was bound to come would still come. 2 weeks later, Chinwei returned from his trip with his parents. They walked to the door of their house, chatting and laughing, took out the key to open it, but couldn't get it open no matter what. Hearing the noise, the current new owner of the house, Sister Lu, opened the door and questioned them. "What are you doing?" Chinwei was stunned. Could they have gone to the wrong place? But this was clearly their own home. My mother-in-law is as sharp-tongued as ever. "What do you mean, what are we doing? Who are you? What are you doing in my house?" Sister Lu remained completely calm. "This is my house. I just bought it." With that, she suddenly remembered something and quickly asked, "Are you Chinwei?" Chinwei nodded. Sister Lu hurriedly took a document folder from the drawer by the door. "This is from Ms. Gu Xiaoxia for you." After handing over the item, Sister Lu directly closed the door. The mother-in-law, Sun Fenglian, kept banging on the door desperately and screamed, "Scammer, why are you occupying my house?" Sister Lu sternly shouted, "I've already called the property management. If you continue to speak rudely, I will call the police." The property management arrived and quickly confirmed that Sister Lu is indeed the current owner of this house. The house has already been sold. Realizing this reality, Chinwei's face clearly showed panic. Sun Fenglian also stopped screaming and quickly urged Chinwei to open the file bag to see what was inside. Chinwei opened it and looked. "Divorce agreement. This is what I gave to Sister Lu to pass on to them when I handed over the apartment." Chinwei was dumbfounded. Going on a trip, and his wife actually wants to divorce him. Mother-in-law Sun Finlian then started shouting, Xiaowei, it's all because you've been spoiling her. Your wife has really grown some nerve. Daring to sell the house on her own, thinking about divorce, dream on, we split the assets equally, she can forget about taking the entire house payment for herself. Chinwei grew anxious. Mom, it's not just about the house payment now. Am I going to lose my wife and child too? Sun Finlian let out a scornful laugh. What a disappointment. If you lose your wife, you can always find another. As for the child, just a worthless girl. If she wants her, let her have her. What's so special about that? But Chinwei anxiously replied, it's not that simple. Have you forgotten how many assets Xia's family has in the southern city? Just the annual profits from their home textile factories orders alone could buy several houses like this one. Do you think I'm trying to please her for no reason? Xia is their only daughter, so all their property will eventually go to her, and what's hers will be ours. Won't it? You used to remind me all the time to keep an eye on their business accounts and to secure Xia's inheritance. Why are you losing your cool over this small amount of money now? Sun Finlian's eyes darted around. Xiaowei, you're right. Lately, I've been so focused on your uncle's high-return investment project and the idea of getting back half the property to make a few million. With that, she comforted Chinwei again. Son, can a woman with a child really go through with a divorce? If she gets divorced, what man would still want her? She just won't take a hint and insists on making things difficult. All of this was later quietly overheard by Sister Lu and relayed to me. It's simply laughable. After hearing this, Chinwei thought it made sense and immediately called me. 8. When Chinwei called, I had just returned to the room with the postpartum nanny after taking my daughter swimming. At first, he was filled with anger. Gu Xiaoxia. How could you not discuss such a big matter as selling the house with me? I let out a cold laugh. I'm selling my own marital home. What is there to discuss with you? Chinwei's voice softened. After all, that was our home, our house. Get this straight. I paid for the house in full, and I covered all the renovation costs. What does any of that have to do with you? You just reminded me, you've been living with me for 3 years. Shouldn't you be paying me rent? Gu Xiaoxia. I'm your husband. How can you even think about charging me rent? So you still remember you're a husband. Go ask around. What kind of husband goes on a trip and leaves his wife who's in confinement? He didn't think much of it. Xia, you're actually going to sell the house over this. Postpartum recovery is just about eating and sleeping. Those 2 times Sui cried gave me a headache. I'm usually busy with work. So I just wanted to take advantage of the holiday to go out and relax. You don't even understand this little thing. I feel like I'm casting pearls before swine. I can't understand. Sign the divorce agreement. I've already submitted the application, and we can get the certificate at the Civil Affairs Bureau. Chinwei was furious upon hearing this. Gu Xiaoxia, I just went on a trip. And you actually want to divorce me? Is it really necessary? Take a good look at yourself in the mirror. Are you some great beauty, besides having a bit of money? What other charm do you have? And don't forget, you're still dragging along a burden now. What man would want you? He could say such things about his own daughter. I'm furious. I cursed. These matters are none of your concern. You're right. I am rich. Are you? Chinwei was left speechless. You, don't get too cocky. Our boss intends to groom me for the director position. You'll regret it once I'm in power. I chuckled lightly. Then I wish you success. Don't forget to sign the divorce agreement. After saying that, I hung up the phone. It's just about selling a house, and Chinwei's true colors are already showing. It's really hard to gauge a person's heart. Before long, the phone rang from mother-in-law Sun Finlian. There was a flood of tears. Xiaoxia, I've always treated you like my own daughter. How could you let us end up on the streets? What a way to treat your own daughter. When your own daughter is in confinement after childbirth. You don't even care to check on her. Didn't Xiaowei transfer money to you? In our day, we still work during confinement. You're just staying home enjoying leisure. Why are you being so delicate? living a life of ease again, and you have the nerve to mention the transfer. 300 yuan is really a lot. Ha. I just sold my own wedding apartment. You're adults. Can't you live anywhere? Why are you so delicate? Have your precious son signed the divorce agreement sooner? After saying that, I slammed the phone down hard. After cursing, the pent-up frustration in my heart eased a lot. So satisfying. Go ahead and cry. Cry your hearts out for me. I just want to watch you cry with a smile on my face. 9. Someone once asked me if Chinwei had saved my life. Otherwise, why would you still be with him despite his family being so strange? To be honest, it's true. 10. Back in college, our department organized a dinner gathering. Chinwei and I were in the same department. That day, I was so focused on checking out the new book previews at a comic shop by the roadside that I didn't notice a drunk driver speeding toward me. In that critical moment, it was Chinwei who pulled me aside, saving me from disaster. He even ended up falling hard on the ground while still protecting me. If it weren't for Chinwei, the consequences would have been unimaginable. I have an ordinary appearance, and due to the aftereffects of polio from childhood, I walk with a slight limp in my left leg. Although my parents got me timely treatment and I've visited many hospitals, so I walk almost like a normal person. A closer look can still reveal a slight difference. Meanwhile, Chinwei is handsome, tall, and was even a forward on the university soccer team. In the eyes of outsiders, he is a very perfect partner, actually. I also understand why Sun Fenglian looks down on me. In her eyes, her son is perfect in every way. I originally thought that by marrying a daughter-in-law from a well-off family, even if she had some minor physical flaws, at least my son would get a substantial inheritance, but I never expected that she couldn't even get my salary. So, some people are simply impossible to communicate with normally. 11. 2 days later, Chinwei went back to work. He posted a moment on social media with a proud expression, quietly celebrating myself. The director appointment is about to be announced. Some people might regret missing out. Sun Fenglian was showing off in the family group chat. Our Xiaowei has become a director. He's really making us proud. And his wife still wants to divorce him over this. Isn't she foolish? The group started gossiping and discussing. Xiaowei is amazing. A director must earn $1 million a year, right? Xia wanting a divorce is such a huge loss. What's the point of a woman with a child getting divorced? She's just venting. Doesn't she still need to rely on a man? Xia, stop being so stubborn. Just apologize to Xiaowei. How many girls would love to be the director's wife? Sun Fenglian looked incredibly proud and arrogant. Exactly, talking about divorcing my son. If they divorce, my son could marry a young, unmarried girl in no time. Ha, I didn't want to bother at first. But now you're forcing me, ha. Do you really think that work was all Chinwei's own achievement? After graduating from university, although Chinwei's academic performance was decent, finding a job wasn't that easy. Chinwei had always wanted to join the prestigious Yunsher Group in Sioux City, but the company's recruitment process was extremely strict. He had submitted his resume several times during campus recruitment drives, all without success. But in fact, the founder of Yunsher Group, Uncle Yun, originally hails from our Nan City, and Yunsher still has several subsidiaries operating in Nan City. Uncle Yun and my father have known each other since their youth, and they share similar temperaments. Even now, they often meet up for tea. At the time, I playfully begged my father to speak with Uncle Yun and give Chinwei a chance. My father was initially reluctant, as he didn't want to mix his relationship with Uncle Yun with any business interests. However, unable to resist my persistent nagging, he eventually agreed. As for arranging for someone to enter the company for an interview, Uncle Yun agreed without hesitation. Fortunately, Chinwei's professional skills were strong, and he passed the interview smoothly. That day, Chinwei excitedly told me that he had received the job offer. For the sake of his pride, I never mentioned to him that I had asked Uncle Yun for a favor, even this time. The paternity leave was only because Dad saw the photos of Sway Sway I sent him, got happy in the moment, and posted about it on his social media. Uncle Ian saw this and complained to Dad, asking why he wasn't told about Xiaoxia giving birth. He immediately arranged for his subordinate to give Chinwei a few extra days off. Chinwei was unaware of all this. He thought it was because of his outstanding performance at the company. Now, just the prospect of a director appointment that hasn't even been finalized has made him this smug. Coincidentally, Uncle Ian had plans to invite Dad for tea these past couple of days. Chinwei, do you think the company would want a director with questionable character? Not surprisingly, Uncle Ian met Dad, and after exchanging some pleasantries, Uncle Ian asked with a smile, "Old Goo, you've become a grandfather. But why do you look so troubled?" Dad didn't want to say it at first, but Uncle Ian was displeased and said, "Are you treating me like an outsider?" Dad quickly shook his head. "It's all family matters. Xia is still recovering from childbirth, yet she sold the house herself and found a postpartum care center. It breaks my heart whenever I think about it. I blame myself for not coming earlier to help, and it really upsets me." Uncle Ian was completely baffled by what he heard. "Old Goo, I specifically arranged for Chinwei to have his paternity leave approved." Dad sighed. You can know a person's face but not their heart. Chinwei actually took his parents on a trip during his paternity leave, leaving Xiaoxia alone at home with the baby during her postpartum confinement. Uncle Ian was furious upon hearing this. How outrageous. Uncle Ian is someone who values efficiency the most in handling matters. Soon, Chinwei was fired. The incident of him leaving his postpartum wife behind to take his parents on a trip quickly spread within their circle. "He's so irresponsible to his wife and daughter. Which company would dare to hire him? Chinwei somehow found out about my family's connection to the Yun family. Now he's backing down. He went through great trouble to find the postpartum care center. Kneel before me, Xiaoxia. I'm sorry. It was all because I was momentarily blinded and said those foolish things. I don't ask for your forgiveness. I only ask for a chance to take care of you and Sway Sway. Sway Sway, she is my own daughter. Would you want her to grow up without a father's company?" Mentioning our daughter, I couldn't help but feel a pang of heartache. How I wish I could give her a complete and harmonious family, but does this person in front of me even deserve it? I shook my head. "Chinwei, it's too late to say these things now." I turned around, went back into the room, and closed the door. Chinwei had been kneeling in the corridor, causing passers-by to whisper and comment. I told myself I couldn't soften my heart. I couldn't let my daughter follow me back to that cold home again. 12. Just as I was thinking this, a commotion came from outside the door. Sun Fenglian's voice was heard. "Xiaowei, a man's knees are as precious as gold. How could you kneel to a woman?" Seeing Chinwei unmoved, she started banging on the door again, afraid of waking Sway Sway. I opened the door and stepped out. Sun Fenglian's expression looked as if she wanted to tear me apart. "Gu Xiaoxia, you wicked woman, you sold my son's house and got my son fired. I'm not done with you." As she spoke, she tried to grab me. Fortunately, the postpartum care center was quite alert and had already arranged for security to be quietly stationed nearby. As soon as Sun Fenglian made a move, they immediately stepped in to restrain her and firmly held her in place. "Please calm down. Don't harm our guests." Sun Fenglian sneered. "I'm disciplining my daughter-in-law. What business is it of yours?" The security guard looked at me. I said directly, "Drive them all away, and if they don't comply, call the police." After saying that, I closed the door and went back inside. I only heard Sun Fenglian's cursing voice fading into the distance. Bad news travels fast. A few days later, my cousin from my aunt's family suddenly contacted me. "Cousin-in-law. Did you know that cousin and Aunt Lian have gotten into trouble?" I had blocked them, so I really didn't know their recent news. My cousin continued, "Uncle has been urging everyone to invest in his friend's project that supposedly yields a 30% return. My mom was tempted at the time, but she didn't have any money on hand. Who would have thought Aunt Lian had so much cash? She invested 500,000. reportedly putting in all of her son's private savings and her own retirement funds. Now, Uncle's friend has run off with the money, and it's all gone. Aunt Leanne cried and screamed, but it was no use. She had no choice but to sell the gold she had saved up. But when she took the gold to the jewelry store, it turned out to be gold-plated silver. She went looking for Uncle but couldn't find him anywhere. Aunt Leanne was so furious that she fainted. The doctor said it was a stroke, and she's still lying in bed, unable to move or speak clearly. She'll probably be like this for the rest of her life. No wonder the two of them have been so quiet these days, so that's why I can't help but feel relieved that I left early, otherwise they would have set their sights on me again. Speak of the devil, Chinwei is here again. He looks haggard, with dark circles under his eyes as if smeared with ink. Xia, please don't get a divorce, okay? I've been thinking a lot these past few days. I wasn't mature enough before. Too casual and irresponsible. In the future, I will definitely change. I gaze out the window. Chinwei, what I hate the most is scheming, and these 3 years of marriage have been filled with nothing but intrigue. In your heart, I was never important. Your parents are your family, while I am just an outsider. I have long since accumulated enough disappointment. When you took your parents out traveling and left me alone during my postpartum confinement, my heart died for you. Chinwei's face turned pale. Xia, but I once saved your life. I thought you would remember that forever. I paused for a moment. Chinwei, I remember, and that's why I've been so tolerant of you. But now, when I see you, I only feel disgust. Then, I picked up the divorce agreement he insisted on leaving here last time and handed it to him. The house was my marital home, and I've already sold it. You've always kept your own salary, so there's no property division from now on. We have nothing to do with each other. As for Sue's child support, you can either follow the divorce agreement or file a lawsuit. I'm fine with either. He looked at me as if he had never known me at all. 13. I successfully divorced Chinwei, and according to the agreement, the custody of Sui belongs solely to me. Without my permission, no one else is allowed to visit. Chinwei is required to pay 30% of his monthly salary as child support. After that, it was as if Chinwei had completely disappeared from my life, and we never contacted each other again. After returning to Nan City, I began using internet strategies to help my parents promote their home textile business online, preparing to take over the company in the future. Her parents are happy to let go and wish they could spend every moment of the day with their precious Sui. Sui is growing day by day, chubby and incredibly adorable, watching her in a beautiful pink princess dress, sitting on the floor playing with her doll, my heart just melts. Occasionally late at night, I gaze at Sue's sleeping face. I also think of the abandoned self during that postpartum month, recalling those difficult days. But more than anything, I feel fortunate. I'm grateful that I made a decisive decision back then, cut my losses in time, and freed myself from a rotten marriage. Now, I can accompany Sui in days filled with sunshine and laughter, welcoming a new life. I'm even more grateful for having walked a long path, weathered storms and experienced joys and sorrows, and for having cultivated an independent, brave, sensitive, and steadfast self. From now on, the world lies before me, pointing to wherever I wish to go, and I preside over myself completely and absolutely.